Domestic Violence 101 Survival Guide for Intimate Partner Violence by HowExpert Press and Amanda Riley. If you want to learn how to survive domestic violence or want to learn more information about this topic, then get Domestic Violence 101. This ebook on domestic violence includes the following topics: discussion on what is domestic violence, information on what are the types of domestic violence and who can be a victim, facts about domestic violence, what the cycle of violence is and why it is dangerous, tips regarding safety planning, questions to ask yourself about your personal situation, how to be safe in your own home, how to access resources, information about how to get help and where to get help, contact phone number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline, tips on how to pack an emergency bag, what documents you need to take with you before you leave, risks regarding leaving, why victims choose to stay, how to prepare to leave, what you should consider if you are making a decision to stay or to leave your abuser, general information regarding Protection from Abuse Order, or PFA, the importance of saving evidence of the abuse for the courts, how to make the best use of your support system, what to do in the first 24 hours after you leave, how to make a transition to your new life, tips on finding permanent housing, why it is important to consider relocation, how to speak up for yourself, the importance of maintaining your support system but also your confidentiality of your new location, how to be a voice for others as a survivor, how others are a part of the movement to stop domestic violence. About the expert. I have been in relationships throughout my life that I questioned. I've often thought to myself, is this emotional abuse? Maybe it was, but looking back on some of my poor relationship decisions, I have been quite fortunate that I had the ability to free myself from those decisions and move forward. Whether or not you are in an abusive relationship or a relationship that can become abusive, there are steps which you can take to protect yourself. I first became involved in the fight against domestic violence when I was trained to work with victims during a 40-hour domestic violence training in college. The training was to prepare me to intern at a domestic violence shelter as a part of my social work program. Since then, my interest in helping victims of domestic violence increased. I have also worked at a domestic violence counseling center and continue to offer hope to survivors as well as train hotline workers. I'm writing this book in the hope that it will be a resource for victims of domestic violence advocates, counselors, as well as other professionals. How to stay safe in every situation. We know as domestic violence experts that making the decision to leave an abusive partner, even to stay with an abusive partner, is not a decision to be made lightly. If you are currently a victim of violence, you know that it can be difficult to find ways to stay safe in your own home. We also know that many victims don't want to leave their partner, end their relationship, or admit defeat. Some people can see leaving their abuser as giving up or admitting defeat, but in reality, it is the opposite. If you are taking a stand for yourself, you are not giving up, but you are starting again. Staying safe with regard to domestic violence can mean different things to different people. Sometimes staying safe in the face of an abusive relationship, environment, or situation means learning to cope in your environment until you have the ability to change your situation. Staying safe can also mean that sometimes a victim must leave their abusive partner to protect themselves or their children. Staying safe can also mean waiting, planning, and preparing to leave rather than leaving overnight on a whim. It can be dangerous to leave the home of an abusive partner or even a shared home without preparing for what a victim can do after he or she leaves. The first 24 hours can be one of the most dangerous times after a victim leaves an abusive partner. Plans should be in place for at least the first 24 hours before leaving. In order to stay as safe as possible, safety planning is critical whether or not you are choosing and planning to leave. If you are living with your abuser at the moment, consider ways that you can be safe, such as monitoring your physical environment. That includes avoiding rooms like the kitchen and the bathroom when possible, especially during a fight. These rooms are very dangerous if a victim is cornered into one of these two rooms. Staying safe at home can also mean having an emergency plan prepared as well as an emergency bag. An emergency bag should be prepared with important documents such as ID, passports, insurance information, money, a spare prepaid phone, a change of clothes, and important medicine. Also, staying planning almost always means reaching out to someone for help. If you are a victim of domestic violence, please reach out to someone you know or a local domestic violence or other social service agency. There are people that can and want to help you. You do not have to stay in the situation you are in now. If you make the decision to leave, the road ahead of you may seem long, but if you fight for yourself, you already are a survivor. You are not just a victim. You are a survivor. If you are in danger or you know someone that may be in an abusive relationship, speak with them or contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 and learn about how you can help yourself or a loved one. Don't wait until it's too late to help yourself or someone else. You have value. You have worth. Stay safe. Call the hotline.